Hello everyone, welcome to CloudForge Lab. In today's Terraform on Azure series, we are going to learn about one of the most useful but often overlooked feature, outputs in Terraform. Now before I discuss outputs in Terraform, let's summarize what all we have discussed in this video series till now. So in the first video, I discussed about Terraform providers, right? And in the second video, we discussed about Terraform lifecycle commands like Terraform init, plan, apply, and destroy. Then in the third video, we discussed about Terraform variables, like how variables is used in our Terraform configuration. And in the last video, we discussed about Terraform locals block, right? And in today's video, we are going to discuss about the outputs block. Now, so what is outputs? Now think of output as the final result of your Terraform execution. So after Terraform creates your resources, outputs allow you to display important values, right, about your resources, share data between modules. So modules we have not discussed it yet, but we will be discussing it next, right? But just keep in mind that outputs allow you to share data between modules, or with the help of output you can use the important values from your resources or from your configuration in your automation pipelines. Okay, so for example, right, suppose we are creating this resource, right? We are creating this storage account, and once this storage account is created, the outputs can show storage account name, primary access key, endpoint URL. So you don't need to manually go to the portal and verify it, right? Output can just show that to you. Okay. So in the last video, when we were discussing about locals, we created a storage account, right? We can go and verify that if it's there. I've not ran Terraform destroy, so hopefully it should be there, right? And it is there, right? The last one which we created. So now let's do one thing, right? And I'll go ahead and destroy it. Okay, run, let's say Terraform destroy. And wait for it to finish, and then we will write some configuration in our outputs and see how output can be helpful, right? Yes. So it's working. It's going to take some time. Okay. Let's wait for it to get finished. And I will say yes. So meanwhile it's getting destroyed. Let's write a configuration as well, right? Right. Let's write something. So the output block will start with output, right? You can give a name. Say I want the resource group name. Okay. So then I have something as value. Okay, which will be resource group example, right? Dot name. Okay. I want another output that is the storage account name as well. So I'll say name, say storage account name, and then again I can give you the value. Storage account, right? All these values are coming from this is coming. So our storage account is at resources are identified as example. This is example. Okay, and here we have used that. We are using name, right? Now I want the uh, endpoint URL as well. Okay, primary endpoint URL. So let's say output primary endpoint URL. Okay, so give it a value. So I will use this dot primary blob endpoint. Okay, so this is how you can use. I mean, you can code outputs in your Terraform configuration. So I'll save it. Okay, and I'll just write Terraform apply and see what we get. Again, this is going to take some time, but we'll wait and we'll see the result after that. And I will say yes, it's fine because we when we did destroyed deleted two resources, now it's going to create two, and which is fine. So you can see the outputs, right? This is the output, and this is it will be created. This is the storage account name that will be created, and endpoint URL will be known after we run the apply successfully. Okay, so let's see. So meanwhile we are waiting for it, but I'll request you to subscribe to my channel because going forward, I will not be creating I will not just be creating single topics. I'll be creating an entire pipeline, CI/CD pipeline using Terraform, and we'll be creating the resources in Azure through automated resources and everything. And there are many other videos that I'll be creating, like I'll be creating tutorials on AWS and comparison between Azure and AWS. So, if you are interested in learning such content, please do subscribe to my channel. Okay, so now the resources are created and now we get everything in our output, right? So, this is how outputs will be useful. And one more thing is like sometimes the output can contain secret like keys or password. Now you can mark them as sensitive, right? So that it will not show to your CLI like it is being showed here. That will not be shown. So like let's do that, okay? So I'll say output, okay? And I say storage account key. So storage account key is sensitive, which we don't want to show. And again, see, I will give the value example dot primary access keys. Okay, this is here. Okay, we'll save and sensitive we'll give it as true. Okay, so by this you can understand, like by default sensitive is false, but once we give true it will not show the value like this. Okay, but you can still use it in your automation pipeline. So I'll again do Terraform apply and let's see what changes and what value do we get. Okay. Use of accelerated exporting searching data available. Output from the user from some markets specifically performing intent. You intend to export this data and create data very sensitive by adding a column. Okay, I have not saved, I guess. So let's run apply now. So this the reason we are getting this error is I had not saved it, right? And now I don't get any error. And now you can see the sensitive value, you will not see it here. Account key, you will not see it in the CLI. Okay. So some of the best practices that you can follow is like only to expose necessary values. Okay, and use sensitive equal to true for secrets and keep your output clean and meaningful. Okay, and avoid exposing credentials unnecessarily. So if you see here again, if you have since we have marked sensitive equal to true, we don't see the value here, right? So that's output in Terraform. Simple but extremely powerful. If you are building real world infrastructure, outputs are a must have. Okay. So in the next video, and we'll be discussing about modules, and there I will show inter-module communication using outputs. So to get a notification when I upload that video, please do subscribe to this channel. Okay, and thank you for watching this video.